In living color, welcome to another fantastic episode of This Week in Reselling, where we interview special guests each and every week from different walks of life in the reselling world. Here we'll discuss the highs and lows of reselling and dive into great conversation. We're positive that you're going to hear something that is going to help you become a better reseller. I'm your host, Ray, and I'm not joined by my co-host, Dustin, my brother-in-law, because he actually just recently had a baby. So he told him, hey man, stay home, take care of the baby, take care of my sister, everything's going to be fine. But that being said, I'm super excited about today's guest. We have Tia with Platinum Blonde Finds today, and we were talking a little bit behind the scenes before we got started, and there's a lot to Tia that we need to talk about, and I'm super excited to get started. So Tia, how are you? Are you excited? How's your day been going? All that good stuff.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I am very excited. This is a first for me, actually. So you're challenging me. I like that. So thank you for having me on.
Exactly. Yes. Well, again, if you don't know Tia, she has an amazing Instagram page that you need to follow. So her links are down in the description below. And Tia is a full-time reseller. Tia, you sell on Poshmark, Depop, and any other platforms that I'm forgetting?
eBay is actually my
eBay.
primary. Yeah, eBay.
Oh, okay. See, I just from looking at your Instagram, I didn't think that your eBay
See, it's
was
really,
your main
I
source.
told you, there's a lot that people don't know about me. No,
Yes.
eBay is where I started, and it's my biggest platform, believe it or not. So, yeah.
That's awesome. So, Tia, for the people that may not know you, that are just now finding out how awesome Tia, the Platinum Blonde Finds, that may not know you, could you give us like a little introduction about yourself? Just give us like the origin story.
Sure.
You're full-time reseller for 14 years, guys. Think about that. 14 years, full of wealth of knowledge. So just give us a little background, how you got started, why you got started, and from here, to where we are right now.
All right, it's a long story now. So I
I love it.
started. All right, so we'll take it back to I was in college in 2009, and I got an internship just strictly for credits at a luxury consignment shop. So that was really my first experience with like reselling. I did not really know much about it, and I was just blown away at what people, clothing items that women would buy and not wear, and I just couldn't believe how much people were consuming, and they didn't even wear the clothes. So the consignment shop was super fun. My job was to go through everything, decide what we were going to sell at the store, which actually made me really familiar with pretty much every brand that is in existence. So that job turned me on to consignment, but what it also taught me was the concept of flipping, or what we used to call back then picking. So women
Mm.
would come in with all these bags of clothes that were like all different sizes. And I was like, I know that they don't belong to this woman. And then I found out that they were a picker. So they would go to
Mm.
Goodwill and basically do what we call reselling now. So that's when I learned about that. And I started doing that basically when I wasn't working, and fell in love with it. And I was determined at that point to have my own consignment shop, which I ended up opening in 2014. So that was
Wow.
a huge accomplishment for me. Um, and it was called Fate's Consignment. I called it Fate because I feel like consignment and thrifting and all that reselling is fate. You have to be in the right place at the right time.
Mm.
Um, and I loved the concept. I had a really cool logo. I wish I could show you because it was really great. But I loved having a consignment shop, but I learned something that I never would have known if I hadn't opened it. Basically, when you own a consignment shop, you're waiting for consigners to come to you with inventory. And it just
Mm.
might not be what you're looking for or your style. So you don't have as much control over what you're getting in. So for the 2 years that I was open, I felt very kind of trapped. Like I wanted to go out and source myself and find those 90s and Y2K items that I desired. So once I closed, I went back online and I just did all the sourcing myself. And that was definitely where I was the happiest. And then
Okay.
Platinum Blonde Finds was born right after that. In 2018, I launched that kind of rebranding, and the rest is history.
That's awesome. So with the so you got the itch, you found out, you got that part-time job or,
Mm-hmm.
at the consignment shop and you
Yep.
figured out, man, there's people out there that are doing this full time. And then just from you seeing people bringing all this good stuff, did you happen to just figure out the brands, like what sells, like what are people, I mean, you were firsthand knowing the brands that people like to wear that sell, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think you have to have that like innate ability to kind of know what's on trend, which I went to school for fashion, so I always was interested in retail and fashion. So I
Hmm.
kind of already gravitated towards what was trending, but that job was actually kind of hard because you had to know every brand, every label, what it retailed for. Like I had to be able to drop the price of what, like if a customer was like, "Oh, what are you going to price this sweater at?" I had to know like right away like what am I going to price it at. So it's a lot. You had to learn a lot about retail and kind of the resale pricing. So it was
Nice.
it was a lot. It was a great learning experience. I feel like it's helped me because now I can spot a brand a mile away just by, you know, like I've seen the same J. Crew sweater like 1,000 times over the course of 14 years. You know what I mean? Like I can see
Oh
something and know
man,
exactly what
wow.
brand it is. So it's like a superpower kind of. So
That is I would love to have that superpower as a flipper and a picker for sure. So when you were working at the consignment store, so
Mhm.
that itch to open your own consignment store,
Mhm.
like, is that something you were like, well, I can do this on my own?
Oh
What,
yeah.
like,
So
how
it's
did how
funny.
did that go
So
around?
yeah, so I worked at that consignment shop from 2009 until about 2012, and they actually it was a very popular consignment chain called Second Time Around, and I'm sure a lot of people,
Hmm.
especially on the East Coast, would know of it. They had a lot of stores in like Boston, New York, but they went corporate and they actually wanted us to sign non-competes. And in those non-competes,
Oh,
it said we would not open a store. So I ended up quitting that job because I'm stubborn and I was like, no, my dream is to open a shop. I will not sign
yeah.
that. And I quit that job and I really loved that job so much, but I just couldn't sign it. So I always knew that that was what I wanted to do for sure.
Okay. So from you quitting, how long did it take for you to compete with
Yes.
Twice Around?
Yes.
Like,
So what's funny is quitting that job was the best thing that ever happened because at that point I was not selling on eBay. So when I quit that job, I just walked away. I had no other income and I kind of panicked and I was like, I need to learn how to sell on eBay. And I just started watching YouTube tutorials and I taught myself how to sell. And I just started selling like everything in my closet. I started going to Goodwill. I actually ended up getting another job at another small consignment shop that was local. I was very upfront with the owner. I did tell her, listen, like, I do want to open a store in a couple of years, and she was okay with it. So I worked for her for about a year, and then in 2014, I finally opened my own store.
that's
So it was
awesome.
like 2 years between when I left the other store.
So so eBay to opening your own store, and where
Yeah.
was you said you were at the East Coast?
Yep. So I was
Where was
like
the
in a
store
suburb
located?
kind of outside of Boston.
Okay.
It was like 15 minutes outside of the city. But another problem with that was, the rent in Boston is insane. So if you want like prime, retail space, you were going to be looking at like 12 to $15,000 a month, which I couldn't do. So I opened in a kind of risky location that, in my opinion, was a little bit slow. But what was funny was that Poshmark was really taking off in 2014. Like I feel like more people started selling on there. And I was basically selling, like the store would be really quiet. Like I wouldn't have a lot of customers one day, but I'd be
Mm,
putting everything on Poshmark and selling it to people in, Georgia or down south. I was selling like tons of Lily Pulitzer dresses. And I was like, this is so dumb. Why am I paying rent? Why am I paying, the electric bill? All these things I had employees, I had such a high payroll, and
yeah.
I was like, this is so dumb. Like I don't need to do all this, So I ended up still actually staying in touch with a lot of my consigners, and I still consign for some of those people. So I'll do like private in-home consignments where I can just go, and I know they have good stuff because I'm familiar with, their wardrobes. So I still do a little bit of consignment, actually.
Okay, nice, nice. So you figured out this brick and mortar isn't the way to go, and then you're now reselling full time online.
Correct.
So what would you say, like, the percentage of the platforms you sell on? Is it like 50% eBay, like 30% Poshmark,
So
and
yeah,
20%?
so eBay is definitely like probably like 60%. And
Mm-hmm.
actually Depop is really well with Depop. I would say like 20% is Depop. And then
Wow.
probably
Okay.
probably the other 20% would be Poshmark, but I don't know, sometimes Depop's a little bit more actually. Depop is definitely where it's at for like the 90s and the Y2K stuff. So for me,
That makes sense.
it's perfect. It really is. And
Yeah.
what's funny?
What
When I had
is?
my store, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you
When I had
go ahead.
my store in 2014, one of my marketing, you know, my marketing techniques was I was really marketing Y2K back then because I loved it. I was obsessed. I loved like juicy suits and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I was still marketing Y2K in 90s, and people were just like, "What?" Like it was so like people were not ready for it, and it's so funny because now
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's
No,
huge.
it's the
But
hot thing.
that was always
Yeah.
kind of my favorite, niche.
Era. Nice, nice. What is the fees on Depop? I'm not too familiar with Depop. I don't sell on there. So,
It's very similar to eBay actually. It's like
okay.
about 13% ish. Um
13%. Okay.
yeah,
I think that's like standard all the way around.
yeah, I was gonna say it's almost exactly the same, I feel like, with eBay. The only thing that's kind of nice is they have like you can do shipping through them. So it's almost like, I know you probably don't use Poshmark, but if somebody buys something, it
Yeah.
generates a label automatically. So you have that
Hmm.
option with Depop, which is nice.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
nice. Now, all right. So, let's get some value here. So, for a person that is, wanting to sell on Poshmark or
Mhm.
Depop or eBay, and they want to sell clothes like you do, what are some good brands that you've noticed that maybe have had like a re like I don't know, like they've come back from the dead, that used to be trash and now everybody wants them,
Yeah.
or something that you've
Oh
noticed,
yeah.
like what are the trends, from someone
Okay.
that has such great expertise like you that have been reselling clothes for 14 years, which is insane.
Crazy. All right. Well, it's funny. So for the Y2K stuff, what I call Y2K, I mean, it's your typical BB or Juicy Couture, the older Dooney and Bork bags, Coach, stuff that it's so funny. You couldn't give this stuff away a couple of years ago. It's what's hilarious about it. Juicy suits,
Hmm.
you couldn't give them away, and now people are spending like 150 on a complete matching juicy set. So um, that's big. And then in terms of like I sell a lot of 90s clothing. So um, I mean, Rampage, BCBG, a lot of stuff like that. Stuff that I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I'm 35. Everything that I wore in middle school, I mean, that's the stuff that they're buying right now on Depop.
Hmm.
Poshmark, not so much.
Interesting.
Poshmark is definitely a little bit more current. I feel like it's typically people looking for, I find, more like modern day styles, but
Okay.
Depop definitely is like 90s and Y2K all day.
So would you say that Depop would be more Gen Z steered? Like, is Gen Z buying
Definitely.
on Depop? Okay.
Definitely. Yeah. And know what's funny? I don't even buy a lot on Depop myself. Like I sell everything there, but I still find myself buying more on Poshmark because it's a little bit more like age appropriate, I feel like. So,
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
it is what it is,
Yeah. We're in the same boat, Tia. I'm like 36 years old, and it's like
Okay. Yeah.
I
Oh
can't
yeah.
wear this. Like there's some times it's like
It's
I can't wear
it's
this. I'm
actually
36 years old.
no, I was just having this conversation with someone the other day saying like I'm all about like wear whatever you want. But then again, sometimes I
Hmm.
put these like Y2K outfits on and I'm like, no, I can't do it. I'm trying too hard. No, like I can't do it.
Exactly. Exactly. Like I would love to walk around in a Gucci sweater like 90% of the time, but I just can't. I can't pull it off too well.
I
So
don't know. I
Tia,
think
let's
you
say
could.
hi to. We'll see. Hey, maybe I'll get one. You know, let's say hi to some people in the chat. Sorry, we've taken a little bit of time, but we've gotten this conversation rolling, and it's super interesting. And guys, if you have any questions for Tia, please put it down in the chat. We would be happy to answer them. And again, if you want to follow her socials are linked down in the description below. TikTok, Instagram, and if I'm missing anything else, Tia.
Um, I don't know if you have my Depop. Yeah, Depop, Poshmark. I don't know.
Okay.
My name is Platinum Posh on Depop and Poshmark. So just.
Okay, there you go. There you go. All right, well, let's say hi to some people in the chat. We have Ryan with Gulf Coast Pickers in the building, Christopher Nutter, and we have Kristen Errol Squirrel. She says, way big, exciting news on the new flipper. Yeah, Dustin's little girl, Sophia Estella. So Sophia with an
Oh,
F, I think. So really
oh,
glad
beautiful.
everything went fine. So we have Ken SSK Promo is in the building. And let's see here. We have Ellie and Michelle are here. Hey, y'all. Good to see ya. Glad that you can stop by. My dog just walked in here. Come on, Teo. Come here. My puppy. Let's see here. We have Nicholas is in the building. Oh, let's see here. Tia, the OG queen of reseller. There you go. Let's say hi to the people
Thanks,
here.
Nick.
Mateo. There we go. Say hi, buddy. All right. Let's see. Lisa's in here. Let's see if I missed anybody here. Again, if you have any questions, make sure to put them down in the comments below. We have Alan's in the building. Reselling King is here. And did I miss anything? We have Mess Hall Diggs is in the building. Good to see you, Mess Hall. Glad you can stop by. And shout out to Tia. There we go. We have Paul the Philly Flipper, my brother. Good to see you. And then Bizzle Bear Memories. All right. Good to see you guys. Glad that everyone can stop by. And again, if you have any questions for Tia, put them down in the comments below, and we'll try to answer those to the best of our abilities. Dina, where do you that's a great question. Where do you source all your items?
Good question. So, I mean, Goodwill and Savers have always been my favorite spots. The prices are so outrageous now that it's kind of become a challenge where I definitely leave with less items, but I look for those gems that they've overlooked and they've priced extremely low. So, I mean, I still find gems even though it's overpriced. But Salvation Army too, like church thrift shops always seem to have like good prices nowadays. Um, but yeah, pretty much. I feel like even though Savers has just gone crazy after COVID, I feel like they just went bananas. Like the prices are insane, but there's still those items. Like I found this silk dress the other day by the brand Equipment, and it was like a $300 dress, and they priced it for
Wow.
$5. You know, so you can find those deals, but you got to really go through everything.
Okay. Yeah. I gotta get better. I clothes is something that I do not like to sell, especially of course
Yeah.
women's clothes. Can you
Yeah.
imagine dudes looking through racks and racks of women's clothes? It's just odd. But I like
I don't
selling,
know.
like 90s sportswear, things like that. I always look for that, but I
Yeah.
just gotta get better at clothes. It doesn't excite me,
No,
and
I
I'm
don't
sure
blame
what.
you. And it's funny because I dabble in men's clothes too. Like I have two
Okay.
brothers, and they were younger than me, so they were like super, 90s kids, like the starter
Mm-hmm.
jackets and all the, the
Yeah.
Patriots gear, New England fans over here. So I do especially like college, like college football sweatshirts. I do really well with old Champion, like anything Champion crew
Yeah.
necks, college, NFL, any of that. I always buy it and it always sells. So I do dabble in like some men's, but
There
but
you
it's
go.
also not as exciting to me. It's just not.
Yeah. What are some of the items that you find that really excite you? Like
Oh,
you like those grail, if you will. Like it's like, oh man,
yes.
I cannot wait to find this, or something that you found and you're like, yeah, I finally found this item.
Yes. So I mean, like not everyone's gonna relate to this because I'm looking for such specific things, but
Mm-hmm.
I love like when you find like Trip NYC, like all the 90s like gothy wear, that stuff is worth big money and it's just cool. Anything like 2000s era, early 2000s, like Hot Topic stuff, like original studded belts, all
Oh,
that sells really well. Anything that's, Delia's, Girlfriends LA, which was a catalog that you would order out of in the 90s, like stuff like that. I don't expect you to be familiar with that necessarily, but those
Girlfriends
things for
LA.
me, yeah. In fact, funny
Oh,
story. So there was a skirt that I thrifted a couple months ago, and it was a leopard skirt. It was definitely from the mid 90s. I could tell just by the fabric and the tag. And it was Girlfriends LA, which, like I said, was a catalog it was kind of the only hot store you could order from back in the day. And I
mm-hmm.
was looking through like Pinterest for old catalogs to see if I could find that
Oh,
skirt. Like
yeah.
it was like finding a needle in a haystack, right? I found it. I found the model wearing it, the page of the catalog, someone had uploaded it, and I was like, get out. Like the
That's
odds of
awesome.
finding that exact, it hasn't sold yet, but it has a ton of interest, like on Depop. I think there's like 200 likes on it and people have it in their carts. So I'm sure it will sell, but it's just one of those epic things. Like I used to look through those catalogs when I was a little girl, and now I have the skirt in my hands, 20 years later. So
Oh,
it's
that's
just
cool. Yeah,
it's just the thrill, the thrill
for
of
sure.
almost
It's
30
something
years later,
about,
actually.
yeah, it's something about finding those items that you never had when you were a kid and
Yes,
going back and buying them. Something about it. Like
definitely.
this
Oh yeah.
room is just, as you can see, full of just toys of junk that I wish I had when I was a kid. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
and now that
totally.
I'm adult with money that I don't know what to do with, and just spend money on
No, I
toys and
totally relate. And
collectibles.
I saved, do you know I saved? So I was like a big Powerpuff Girl fanatic when I was in fifth grade
Oh,
or
yeah.
sixth grade. Everything. I still have a box of all my Powerpuff Girls, everything. I have
Oh,
like
that's
the
so
stuffed
cool.
animals. I mean, everything is just in this box. I never got rid of any of it. I have like
That's so
folders,
cool.
notebooks, everything from middle school just saved. So I've always been
Gosh,
into
that's so cool.
nostalgia, and like I don't get rid of a lot of stuff, so I still have like all my toys from when I was a kid.
Oh, I wish I have one thing. I have one Power Ranger Megazord when I was a kid, and that's the only thing that I have that
I
I
love that you
still
still have
had.
it though.
I know, and I bought one and sealed in a box that's like behind me over here,
That's so
just because
funny.
I wanted one sealed in the box. But
That's
yeah.
awesome.
So Amanda with Fireball Flippers is here, and I saw a question. Dana asked, "Do you recommend cross listing to eBay if my main reselling are on Poshmark?"
Definitely. Oh yeah, eBay, it's like crazy. Like I'll list something on eBay and I'm talking something not even that exciting, like a simple J. Crew button down, right? It sells in like a week. Like I feel like the turnaround is so fast. And I think part of it is people have like a watch list, like a wish list. So when you upload something, if it matches like their size and everything that they're looking for, they get an alert. And I swear that feature like really helps things, have a fast like turnover
Mm,
rate. So I would definitely list. A lot of people are like really intimidated by eBay, or I mean, I talk to people all the time who are
yes.
like star sellers on Poshmark and they have never listed on eBay. But to me, like Poshmark is so slow, I can't imagine like not utilizing eBay. So I would definitely recommend that people give
Why
it a
do you think
try.
that there's like that scared mentality? And a lot of it is women being
Mm.
scared to sell things on eBay. They'll kill it on Poshmark, they'll kill it on
Yeah.
Etsy, they'll kill it on Deep, all these other platforms, and they're scared to sell it on eBay. Like, why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think the worldwide thing freaks people out. Like Poshmark is just the
Mm,
US, and I think people are a little intimidated, but you can turn it off so that nobody buys it from out of the country. So
mm,
you don't have to ship to anybody out of the US. I don't know. I don't know if it's just such a big platform, there's just so many more users on it. Like I don't know. I think it has a little bit of a stigma, like kind of like Craigslist. It's people look at it
yeah.
like that.
Okay.
Like there's some sketchy. I mean, there definitely can be sketchy people. Like I'll get some weird people that message me some weird things, but that can
Oh, I
happen
didn't
on
think about
Poshmark too.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
It does. It sometimes the people on there can be strange, but I mean, it's worth it because you just have so many more sales, and I just think you can reach so many more people. It's
Mhm.
more people I do believe are on eBay, and people are up all night searching for things. And I don't know. I would try
Okay.
it. I would definitely recommend people give it a
There you
shot.
go. Here's a question from someone that does sell his feet pics on eBay. Paul the Philly Flipper says, "What's your favorite Powerpuff Girl and why is it Bubbles? Is Bubbles your favorite Powerpuff
Oh,
Girl?"
well, you already know. Yes,
They.
yes. Huh.
So
Am I
why is
that
Bubbles your favorite?
predictable? Platinum.
Right. That's
I
great.
mean, maybe the blonde hair. No, I do love Bubbles.
There you
My
go.
first tattoo, thank God I canceled it. My first tattoo that I was
Oh,
supposed to get when I was 18 was going to be all three Powerpuff Girls flying like on the sides of
yeah.
my stomach. And I canceled
Whoa.
that appointment. Yeah, it was very intense. And I was committed though, and I still wouldn't be upset if I had a Powerpuff Girl tattoo. Like I would not regret it, but that particular design, I don't think I would have wanted that. Um, but I was a committed Powerpuff Girl fan.
Okay.
So
Do you have any Powerpuff Girl tattoos now? Did you go back
no, I
and were like,
don't.
"I'll
I
get"?
have Hello
No.
Kitty, but I have a Hello Kitty tattoo, but
Okay.
no
There you
Powerpuff
go. There
Girls.
you go. All right. So Tia, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to our first segment of the show. It's called Overrated, Underrated. Okay. I'm gonna ask you 10 different subjects, five being
Okay.
reselling related and five not being reseller related, and you're gonna let me know in
Okay.
your opinion if it's overrated or underrated. Okay.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right. All right. All right. But before we get into that, we do want to give a shout out to the sponsor of the podcast, and that's My Reseller Genie, one of the best accounting tools that you can use as a reseller. And if you use the code Nashville Flippers, all cap, you're going to receive 15% off your first month. Do you use My Reseller Genie at all, Tia,
I
for
don't.
your
I
all your
don't.
accounting?
I
Well, there
actually
you go.
don't. I should.
It's a great tool. Yeah, yeah. So it's a great tool. All right. So first one up, Tia, overrated, underrated, Poshmark.
Um,
Is it worth
you
it
said
to you? Poshmark. Yes,
Poshmark.
ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm gonna get heat for this, but for me, it's overrated.
Overrated. Okay. How
Yeah.
come? Let us know why.
I just I don't have as much luck with it. I feel like the fees are super high.
Mm.
Fees are high, 20%.
Oof. Yeah. So what
It's
keeps you
too
on
much.
what keeps you selling on Poshmark?
For me personally, and like I said, a lot of people don't have this, they have good luck. For me, it's just that last ditch hope that somebody will buy that sweater I've had up on eBay for
Okay.
the longest time. Like it's just not my main. And it's great. Oh my gosh, people have so much luck with it. I don't know why. I don't. I think
Mm-hmm.
and the other thing I will say this, they send so many notifications that are completely irrelevant to me. Like it's, just the most random notification. So you open your phone and you think like someone sent you an offer. Like they'll send you
Uh-huh.
an offer. I mean, sorry, they'll send you an alert that someone made an offer on something you liked. So it has like nothing to do with you. Like, and
Oh,
it
wow.
just you why are you
That's
telling
annoying.
me? Like they want you to they want you to feel the pressure and then you go buy it, but like it actually just irritates me. So I'm just gonna say overrated.
There you go. There you go. You heard it here first, guys.
Sorry.
All right. Next one up, Tia. This is a good one. And again, guys, we've talked about how Tia loves 90s nostalgia, early 2000s. So we're going to take a trip down memory lane here.
Oh
Overrated,
boy.
underrated, 98 Degrees, the band.
Oh, overrated.
Overrated. How come?
Overrated. I mean, I love boy bands, but they were just a little corny for me. I don't know. They
Okay,
were a
too
little
corny.
cheesy, too corny.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't seem like bad boys at all. They were just like
Ooh,
too,
Tia likes the bad
too,
boys.
too, yeah, they were too goody goody. So,
Okay,
and they
okay.
had that
Not
tattoo. Didn't he have like the sun tattoo, like on his like belly? Was it his belly button or
like,
something? I
was
don't
it
know
his
what.
belly button? Yeah,
I
I
don't
think it
know.
was.
Had like a sun
Nick
tattoo, and
Lachey?
I swear,
Nick Lachey,
yeah, it
right?
was like offensive to me. I was like, no,
Was it Nick
I don't
Lachey?
know. I don't know. You need to look it up. I swear,
I know.
someone had like a sun
Let us know.
It
Let
might
us
have
know,
been.
chat. Let us know who had the sun tattoo at 98 degrees. So, Tia, what are your top 3 boy bands?
Oh boy. Well, I'm a pop punk boy band lover. So when I was in middle school, I liked all the pop punk boy bands. So I wasn't into like the
Okay.
NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys.
Okay. So,
So
what are some of them?
I
Maybe like we're talking like Crazy
okay.
Town.
All right.
Like, what are we talking about here?
Oh, crazy. I follow Crazy Town on Instagram actually, which is hilarious.
There you
No, so I
go.
loved like I was into like Blink. Um,
Oh
so my
yeah,
favorite
Blink.
band
I
is
forgot
Newfound
about Blink.
Glory. Yeah. So I was a big Newfound Glory fan. Um, I just like all like my pop punk bands, I guess. Um,
Okay.
but I mean, I don't know. I mean, Hanson, I loved Hanson. I was a huge
Hanson.
Hanson
Okay.
fan. Yeah. In fact, I saw them right before the pandemic, so I still see
Really?
Hanson basically.
They're
Yeah.
still touring.
Oh, they still tour and they like sell out shows. It's
That's
crazy.
amazing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that I
Nice.
love them. So that's a true 90s boy band right there.
There you go. There you go. I like it. Not like our boy Nick Lachey here. Can you see that, Tia? Did that come up
Oh,
for
did you
you?
find it?
Yeah. It's on his
Oh, it was
arm.
on his arm. Oh,
On his arm.
yes.
Yeah. So
So
there we go.
cheesy.
There we go.
No.
Yeah, it's pretty cringe for sure. I think Paul the Philly Flipper has one of those on his belly. I think the belly button. Chemical the offspring was cool. Were you
Yeah.
into like
Yep.
Limp Biscuit, Corn, like that
Oh my
whole
God, yeah. So
era?
I saw Corn this summer and it was on my
Ooh,
bucket list
okay.
because my whole life I wanted to see Corn and my parents wouldn't let me. And then when I got older, it was like just that band. It was on my bucket list, never ever went. And this summer I was like, I'm gonna see Corn. And it was so good. I had such a good time.
Was it?
Yeah.
I want to see. I
And
do want to see
I
Corn.
do have a lot of Limp Bizkit on my gym playlist. So I mean, who doesn't?
Mm, there you
People
go.
can say they
I'm
don't like Limp Bizkit, but they do. So,
There you
you
go.
know.
I like it. My bucket list is Rage Against the Machine, and they're touring again,
Okay,
so definitely on my bucket
do
list.
it.
So there you go. Bop, the greatest song ever written. There you
Yes,
go. They
definitely.
see. Paul says I have a Nashville Flippers tramp stamp. There you go.
That's
That's
so
right.
funny. You're famous.
There. All right. So Tia, next one up. Overrated, underrated. Oh, I put two. Depop.
Underrated.
Underrated.
Depop
Okay.
is,
Tell us why.
yeah, Depop. I mean, it's all right. It's not only is it a fun platform, but like the sellers and buyers, everybody, it's like a little community. So people will just
Hmm.
comment on your things just to be like, girl, I love that outfit. You're so cute. Like people will just are so supportive. And every single sale that I've had, I'm not kidding. I have all 5-star feedback. And it's not even like I've done anything special. Everyone is just so nice. And people will leave like long reviews about like
Really?
thanking me for like I said, I don't even it's not even like I did anything crazy, you know what I mean? But people are just so it's just a very like chill platform. Whereas on Poshmark, I feel like you get a lot of sorry but Karens that are like angry if you didn't stick it in the mail within 24 hours. So Depop is like all these like, you know, young 20-year-olds who are just happy to be there and just, you know, chill. So I love
That's
that.
interesting. Okay, nice. Now, when you do your Depop listings, are you because I think I've seen like two different ways to do this. Some people
Hmm.
just do a nice little flat lay, maybe change the color in the background, maybe like an orange or
Hmm.
green to make it pop. And some
Yep.
people actually like model the clothes. Are
Yeah.
you the model of the clothes or are you just like the flat
So
lay like
So I pretty much on all platforms like model pretty much everything if I can fit into it because I think people
okay.
need to see how things fit. And that's probably why I sell a good amount of it because
Mm,
like people can actually tell how it's going to look. Um, Depop I feel safer, so I don't crop my head out. But on eBay, I definitely crop my head out.
that makes sense.
I feel like there's some weird people on there, but
Yeah.
I try to wear it if I can, you know. But a lot of that's the other thing on Depop. It's almost like Instagram, but for reselling. So people model, pretty much everybody models their clothes, and it's like I said,
Oh.
just this kind of community where people are like they want to show off a whole outfit. So they'll say they're selling a skirt, they'll put together like the whole shebang, like a cute top, a bag, shoes,
Oh.
and it's like a whole aesthetic, like it's a whole vibe. You know what I mean?
So it's like
So,
one listing, but you're purchasing all these items. Like you're buying the
or
outfit,
or you're
or
you're kind of giving the buyer like an idea of like how to wear it. Like it's a little bit more creative than just like
that's
throwing a
interesting.
skirt on the floor and being like, this is what's for sale, you know? So
Okay.
I don't know. It's interesting.
So,
It's like a
th-
different world. It really is like a
yeah.
different platform
So
than I've ever
that's
been,
actually
used to.
a great point. Which my wife, she sells like dresses for a living. She works at a
Hmm.
dress store, and one of her jobs is to do the visuals for the store. And so every
Hmm.
Wednesday, she goes in there and she creates outfits for all the mannequins. You know,
Hmm.
and she gets in there
That's
and she
fun.
says, people walk in and they say, I want this, like they'll
Yeah.
buy like the whole outfit. So I can
Yeah.
see like some people may not have that, I don't know, that intuition to put an outfit
Hmm.
together. So
Yeah.
just looking at something and be like, yes, this is what I want, this is what I'm looking for, I don't have to think
Hmm.
about it. And I've never really thought about it that way, selling the clothes online and curating an outfit or a style or a vibe
Hmm.
on the internet. Like I've never really thought
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
So
No, it's
that's
it's
interesting.
true. And like even back when I would sell stuff on Poshmark or eBay, like say I was selling like a sweatshirt that said like New England Patriots, like in the picture I might be holding a football. And it's corny, but like
Mm-hmm.
people like it. Like I don't know. It's I've always liked creating a little like a almost like putting together a whole outfit for people, like you said, like what, she does at the
Yeah.
store. Like you want to kind of help
Mm-hmm.
people know how to style it. But what's interesting too on Depop is I've had a ton of repeat buyers who they just go down the list and they'll add like 10 or
Ah,
15 things to their cart. So like they I kind of get their style. You know what I mean? Like I have multiple
yeah.
things that are their styles. So
You're like their
Depop is
personal
definitely
shopper.
like, yeah, definitely. I love Depop,
Okay.
so I'm
Okay,
all
there you
for
go, guys. Reseller King asks, is Depop more for women's clothes?
it. So there's a lot of men's clothing on there. So I would say no. I see a ton of men's clothing. So I haven't personally sold any men's clothing on there. I don't
Hmm.
think. Yeah, I don't think I have, but I there's definitely a ton of men on the platform.
Yeah. He
Which
also
reminds me,
says,
I tried to do.
yeah,
What do
he
you
said
say?
something about, are there a lot of creeps buying like weirdo questions, etc.? I know someone who model their clothes. She's always getting inappropriate requests. I bet there's a ton of that and
Oh,
everywhere.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like, definitely more on eBay. No one's ever really. I've had people be like, "Can you? How many times have you worn this shoe?" And I'm like,
Oh,
"Why are
that's
you asking me?"
disgusting.
And then I'm like, "Oh, okay." I get it
Yeah.
now. But I
Yeah.
had someone the other day I had to block on eBay because he was like definitely asking. He was just a creep asking me,
There you go.
just awful
Don't be
things.
creeps.
So
Don't be creeps
don't be
about there,
creeps.
guys.
I block everybody. I do that on Instagram too. Like I block so many people.
Yeah.
I don't even care about follower counts. Like if you seem creepy, you're blocked. So
Blocked.
sorry.
Exactly. Yeah. There you go. Just don't ask for feet pics. That's what Nicholas says. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
But
yep. Well,
yeah, disgusting.
that's
So
happened.
visual
Yeah,
coordination
definitely.
ideas. Yeah, that's great. That's great. There we go. Was his name Tommy Bernard? That's funny. All right, moving on here. Next one up, overrated, underrated Napster, Tia.
Napster. Okay, well, I'm gonna say, ooh, so say overrated. But that's just because I'm
Okay.
angry that I didn't
Interesting.
have the internet at my house until I was
Oh
almost in
man.
college. My parents were anti-internet. I did not have the internet until I went to college. So I never even
Wow.
had that experience. Like I never had What is it? LimeWire? Was that the other one? Or
LimeWire. See,
LimeWire,
Paul says
Napster.
LimeWire better than Napster. So
See, I know of them, but I never had to
you never
I never got a
experienced.
virus. Never gave my family computer
Oh,
a virus or anything. So
you never experienced that trying to download the song and it is just like looped. The beginning just looped
no.
over and over again. Oh, it's terrible.
But my friends were cool. Because I didn't have the internet, everyone was like, "I'll burn you a CD." Like
Yeah.
everyone helped me out, so it wasn't that
Okay.
bad.
My first burnt CD, my friend burnt for me was because he had a CD burner on his family computer, and it was like, "You got a CD
Sketchy.
burner?" It was the Kid Rock, the Kid Rock album, one of the Kid Rock albums.
That's so
So
funny.
yeah, that dates me right
That's
there.
hilarious.
Okay, next one up, Tia, overrated, underrated, whatnot.
Okay, so I think it's underrated,
Okay,
but okay, so I'm not using Whatnot, and I'm embarrassed to say so because
I
everybody
feel
is.
like you would be amazing at whatnot, Tia. Like
I don't know.
amazing.
Okay, this is what I've heard though. Everyone, because I've watched so many videos of people breaking it down, and so many
Mm-hmm.
people have said that you don't get a lot for your item. Like you sell a lot of items, but you don't get
Mm-hmm.
that much for, you're selling things pretty
I
cheap.
can agree with
Is
that.
that true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on what it is. Of course, always I feel like you have to be a salesman at the same time. And then I
Yeah.
feel like you have a big enough following for people to follow you and purchase the
Mm.
clothes on whatnot. And if you have a certain vibe, people come just for that vibe and aesthetic. And
Mm-hmm.
of course, you don't want to put in your $300 silk dress on whatnot. That can stay on
Yeah.
eBay.
See, so
But
that's my
I'm
whole thing is like, are people selling their stale inventory or things that they're okay with letting go for like $5? I mean, is that the
I think
point?
so. I think it has to do with like I'm new to whatnot, right? I've probably now
Uh-huh.
have had maybe 10 shows or something like that. But the things that we like to sell are like consumer electronics. But the
Okay.
things that we pick up, our cost of goods is really low. We can pick
Mm-hmm.
stuff up for like $5. But we're picking
Mm-hmm.
stuff up that we would never pick up to sell on eBay because it would be there
Okay.
forever. So for
Yeah,
$5, we're
yeah.
picking up like unbranded gaming headphones that we know we
Mm-hmm.
can sell for $25 all day long and make
Yeah.
$18, like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we had an electronic show last Sunday. We sold 72 items and we made like a little bit over $1,500 in
Wow.
2 hours.
That's
So
impressive. That's
yeah,
crazy.
so it's a definitely a quick nickel, not a slow dime kind of thing. So
Okay.
if you have a way to get a lot of inventory for a really low price, say like you go to the Goodwill
Mm-hmm.
bins or something, I would
Yeah.
definitely I
Hmm.
think you would kill it on there. Like once you start
I'm
getting it
like
gaining a
so
following,
intimidated by it. Like, never say never, but
yeah,
I don't know. I went down that rabbit hole like last year where I started really looking into it, watching
looking into
videos, and
it.
I was like, oh, I don't
Hmm.
know if this is for me.
We have
Well,
one of our last I forgot her name. She's been on Paul's show, but she sells like sporting wear, like vintage '90s
okay.
sporting wear, and that's
Oh,
all
that's
she
cool.
sells. And
Oh,
it's
I
a
love
girl,
that.
and she puts up her she comes in with her rack, her rolling rack,
Mm-hmm.
and everything is already pre-loaded on there, and then with
Yeah.
the pre-bid or whatever she's selling it
Mm-hmm.
for, and if you want something to sell for $30, start it at $30. You don't have to start everything at
Mm-hmm.
$1. You know, a lot of
Yeah.
people think that they have to do that, but that's not
How
the
many
case.
items, like, is there a minimum of how many items you have to present during your like
I don't
set?
think so. Some
Okay.
people I've seen some people they don't even sell anything on. They'll have a whatnot show and
Really?
they'll have a cup of coffee and talk to the people on the other
That's so
side,
funny.
and yeah, so it's the wild
So it's like
west
a little
with whatnot right now.
community.
Yes,
It's a
the same people
community.
come
Okay.
in and they're like, "Hey, how's it going?" There you
Yeah.
go. There you go. Yeah, it's Aylin. I can't remember how to say it. Kills it on Whatnot. She makes 1K per show. So
See,
yeah,
I love like vintage sportswear, so I feel like I be watching her show.
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. Check it
Okay.
out. I'll DM you, or I'll shoot you over her stuff
Yeah.
so you can check that out.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Yeah.
yeah, Aylin Flips is her name. So there you go. What's up,
Okay.
Reese? He jumped
Cool.
in here. So
All right.
yeah,
Cool.
it's interesting. So I feel like you would absolutely kill it on there. At least give it a try. If it doesn't
Yeah.
do well,
Well,
then
I
you
feel
just
like
move on.
Instagram's been like really dead and just like a snooze fest. So
Hmm.
it might be more exciting than
Do you sell?
let's
What do you
see.
mean? Like, do you sell stuff on
Well, I
Instagram
just
too?
feel so before, I mean, I used to sell, well, I feel like Instagram's algorithm is so different now. Like back before like
Yeah.
2020, I feel like way more you were getting more exposure to other resellers. Now it's like my feed instead of seeing resellers is like Kim Kardashian and like ads and people that I don't even know. Like it's just
Hmm.
ad. So I don't see like any resellers stuff anymore. So back then, I feel like
Eileen.
my whole feed was all, was all just people's stuff for sale. People were seeing my stuff for sale. Now it's like they just, I don't know, they want people who are paying to, or it's reels, which are fine. Like reels are,
Yeah.
are fun, but it's just reels. It's not like product.
Okay.
But that's
Interesting.
just like a
Yeah.
platform shift. I think a lot of people are complaining about that. So,
Yeah. And now that we know that Facebook and Instagram Meta is going to quit
hmm
paying people for their reels, and then
yeah.
once TikTok shuts down, then I don't know what we're going to do, right?
I know. Well,
It's
it's funny because I find more resellers on TikTok now, and that seems to be like where it's been. I mean, it's not even so much for selling, it's more just kind of networking. Like I feel like I've found
hmm
so many creative people on there. So, I don't know,
There you
Instagram needs
go.
to get their act together because
Yeah, they need to get their
it's
stuff
getting a
together for
little
sure.
lame.
Yeah. It's all pay to play. That's all it
I
is.
know. It is.
Yeah.
It and I personally never signed up to have, I don't like to get too involved on Instagram, so I never got paid for any of my reels. I wasn't
Hmm.
monetizing. Um, I like to keep them at a distance. So, you know,
There you go. There you go.
Zuck,
We
me
have
and Zuck, I don't
Joe.
want to hang out.
Yeah. Get it together, Zuck. So we have Joe. How's it going, Joe? Glad you can stop by. All right, moving on. Number 6. This is a good one. Mandy Moore. Overrated, underrated.
Ooh, underrated. I love Mandy Moore. Candy. That was like
Yeah.
iconic.
My wife and I were just listening to some Mandy. I was doing this list and we were listening to some Mandy Moore. She made a big, This Is Us. She's like a great
Yeah,
actress
I never
now.
I never watched it, but I've seen that she's done really well. I mean,
Yeah.
hey, when
Don't
I saw
watch
A
it.
Walk to Remember, she was a great
Yeah.
actress then. So
Don't watch it. It just stresses me. There's too many. They have too many problems. I got my own problems.
that's
I don't want
so
to have to
funny.
worry there. It's too much. There you go.
That's
There you
so
go.
funny. All
Paul
right,
says,
thanks.
Walk to Remember made me cry. Not ashamed to admit it." There you go, Paul.
I know,
There you
so
go.
sad. It really was so sad.
I've never seen the movie. I'm
What?
surprised Paul has seen that movie. I didn't grow.
You gotta
I
watch
wasn't watching
it.
Walk to
It's very
Remember. Okay.
romantic. It's very romantic.
Okay. I'll for sure watch it with my wife. She's probably already seen it.
Oh, she's
So
definitely seen it. So.
yeah. All right. Moving on. Tia, the Goodwill bins, overrated, underrated.
Oh man. Well, um, I'm gonna say underrated because we know they're great, but in Boston, they closed down actually during 2020, and they only recently opened back up. And I have not been back since they've opened back up.
Mm.
I get very overwhelmed when I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
I know that it's thrilling, and that's part of it. Um, I used to go a lot. I went a ton before 2020. Um, they're very filthy. I used to wear
Mm-hmm.
gloves and sometimes
Mm-hmm.
even a mask then. I've touched many unfathomable things, especially the ones in the city. So
Oh.
I don't like to go my husband gets grossed out. Like he doesn't even want me bringing stuff in the house sometimes. So I don't go there that often, but it's amazing and it's
Hmm.
worth it and I love it. I love it. It's just it gets so the ones in Boston, I mean, I know it's like this everywhere, but like people
Yeah.
like brawl. I mean, it's like if you grab a pant leg and someone else grabs the other pant leg, I mean, you will like full on. I mean, people are so aggressive. So I don't
Ah,
go that often. Like I
okay.
don't. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But the prices
Maybe
are
with this what?
unbeatable.
Yeah. Maybe with this whatnot thing explodes, you're gonna have to learn some martial arts or something, Tia, to get
I
into the good stuff.
I don't I know. And it's so funny because even back in the day when I used to go, like my patience was so thin. Like if it got bad, I was like, I'm out of here. Like
I'm out.
I don't really have the
So
patience
worth it.
for it. But I found some amazing, I mean, I have found amazing things in the years
Hmm.
that I've gone. So I found like a
Okay.
Missoni dress one time, which I think I sold for like $300 or $400 and I paid like a dollar for it. So
Yeah.
I'm
You
the one
can't beat
missing
it.
out. I'm the one missing out. So
Okay.
I need to get
Okay.
back
All
into
right.
it. So maybe I will.
There you go. All right. Moving on. Overrated, underrated. Number 8. White cheddar popcorn. Overrated or underrated?
Oh, I'm gonna say overrated. Overrated. I can
Okay.
still
Not
smell it right now, like that
right.
puff in your
Yeah.
face when you open it. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Okay. What's
Very
your
90s
what?
for sure.
There, there you go. What's Tia's like go-to snack?
Oh, good question. I love cheese, so cheese all the time, pretty much.
Okay.
Brie or cheddar, cheese and
Ooh.
crackers.
Okay.
I love cheese.
All right. Nice. I like cheese. A good charcuterie board. Can't beat that with a nice wine. You can't beat it.
Yes,
So, all right.
perfect.
Here's a good one. Overrated, underrated. Number 9. The garage sales.
Oh, I would say underrated. I love garage sales, especially in the summertime in this area. It's very
Yeah.
fun on a Saturday morning to go to yard sales. Last summer, I found so many Y2K goodies in my area in at yard sales. I found like not like you're gonna know what this is, but your wife would know. So Victoria's Secret used to have these little stuffed animal dogs called like the pink
Yeah.
dogs, and this girl had like I think she must have worked there, but she had like 50 of them from like 20 years ago. And they were all like, she gave them all to me for like $5 and I sold them on eBay and made a ton of money. So
Wow. Okay.
I do
What
love,
is something like that worth nowadays?
so
Depending on the
I
dog, I
mean,
guess, of course.
yeah, I sold like a couple of them in a lot. So I did like five of them and I think I sold it for like $75. So I
Oh
don't know, it
wow.
depends.
Okay.
The ones I had were from like the very beginning of the launch. So it was like 2006. So those are like
Oh.
more valuable. But no,
Okay.
I love garage sales and yard sailing. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Okay. Nice. All right. Moving on. Last one here, Tia. The Shrek movies. Overrated or underrated?
Oh my God, I love Shrek. Shrek 3 is
Yeah.
my favorite. Yeah, Shrek 3.
Okay.
I I love Shrek. My household loves Shrek. My brothers, we all like have many
You
Shrek
can't beat
inside
it,
jokes. No, in fact, my husband
right?
does not like Shrek, and I get so aggravated. But he was like an '80s kid, so like he doesn't get it, and I'm like, why
He
don't you
doesn't
get
get it.
it? Like it's so funny, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Get with
He
it.
doesn't get it.
So
He doesn't
no,
get
he
it.
does
All
not get
right.
it.
So if you want more of these ridiculous things, Paul, the Philly Flipper, and I, we do a Monday night show each and every Monday where we draft random stuff. And tomorrow
Mhm.
we are actually doing green things. So thus the Shrek. So the
Oh,
Shrek
that's
might
funny.
make my list. So check out what we're gonna
Hilarious.
do tomorrow at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. So, all right. So, overrated, underrated. Tia, thank you so much for playing. We do want to give a shout out to another sponsor of the show, poppinofftoys.com, one of the best places where you can find Funko Pops. Use the code Nashville Flippers and you're going to get 10% off everything in the store. All right. So, Tia, moving on. We usually have a segment of the show called Dustin's Tip of the Week. So, Dustin is
Yeah.
not here, so there is no Dustin's Tip of the Week. So, moving on to the next segment, it's called skip or flip. All right, Tia. I'm going to show
Okay.
you 3 items that recently sold on eBay, and you're going to let me
Okay.
know if you see them at the Goodwill bins, the rare times that you see that you've
Mhm.
been there, or the thrift store, or at a garage sale. Let
Mhm.
me know if you would pick it up or if you would
Mhm.
leave it. And at the end, I'm going to show you what the item sold for on eBay. All right.
Okay. All
All
right, let's
right.
do it.
Let me know if you can see this, Tia. We have here. You see that pretty good?
Ooh. Yep, I
So,
see it.
all right. So for the people that are listening at home, this is a pair of Lisa Frank Crocs. Shout out to Jimmy Old School Flips. So here is, and these come with some gibbets. I think I'm saying that correctly. It says love, groovy, has some stones and nice little flower and butterfly gibbets on there. So what are you thinking? What's your thought process here, Tia? Are you flipping? Are you
Oh,
skipping?
I
Give us.
would
Are you a croc girl?
definitely very anti-croc in my personal life.
Okay.
But Lisa Frank is a huge coveted, everything Lisa Frank pretty much is coveted. Obviously, these are more modern, but I would absolutely pick them up to sell. Absolutely.
Okay. What do you think something like this is selling for, Tia?
Man, so off the top of my head, I want to say like 175, but I have this gut feeling it was way more than that. Um,
175. Okay. You think it's
that's
more, but
like
you think it's more.
I don't know, that my first instinct would be 175, but I have this feeling it's more than that.
Okay. What would you be comfortable buying these for? If you see them like at a consignment store.
Um, well, I'd be able to do my research then and there, but me not knowing right this second, I don't know, maybe I would splurge and pay upward $30. If I
$30.
knew they were
Okay.
gonna sell for 175, yeah.
Yeah, I don't
We'll
even know
see.
what's retail on a pair of Crocs nowadays. Anyways, is it like 40,
I
30?
mean, yeah,
I don't
but then
even
when
know.
they have all
50
those
bucks?
little like when they have all those
Gibbets and
little
stuff. Yeah.
gibbets, they're worth a lot more. So I don't know. Those
Okay.
could be
All
like
right.
closer to like 100. I mean, I don't know, $80 with all the little gibbets.
Yeah,
Is that
with
what
all
it's
the little
called?
charms and stuff. All
Yeah,
right. Let's see what the people in the chat are saying. Super Geeked is in the building. Good to see you. We have Swamp Picker. He's saying flip. Alan is flipping.
yeah,
Mountain State is flipping. Sola is flipping. And
definitely.
let's see here. What did Paul say? If they want $5 or less, I would flip it for 20 or less. I'm just skipping. Okay, Paul's skipping. And Nutter is saying that he is flipping. All right, so Tia, this pair of Lisa Frank's Crocs just sold on eBay for $134.99.
Oof. All right. I was a little
So not
over.
bad. A little over, but it's still a good. I mean, if you're picking them up for $30, you're
But you know what's
flipping them for
funny?
130.
Like, depending on what size they were, if they were a size that's
Correct.
hard
Yeah.
to find, I could see 175. But no, they're
There
Lisa
you go.
Frank, anything. And not to interrupt, but one of my best flips was during 2020. That summer, I went to Savers and I found one of the original Lisa Frank. It was like a little binder thing and it had the aliens on it. And I paid
Uh huh.
$3 and I sold it for like 475, like crazy money. Crazy money. It was like anytime you see Lisa Frank, pick it up.
And it was just like a binder, like a
Yeah,
notebook,
it was like
or
a
was it like a trapper
holographic.
keeper?
It was like a smaller. I actually can't. It was almost like a box that opened up and had like had like paper in it. It was really cool. It had like some pens. It had some of like the original like pieces in it.
Okay.
It was so long ago now. I don't even know if I still have pictures of it. But the alien is worth like a lot of money. So just so you
Okay.
know.
All right. There you go. All right. Moving on to you. We have here. I don't know how much you listened to music back in the day,
Mhm.
but we have here. Come on, Ray, get it together. A Sony mini disc player. Did you have any of these when you were a kid? You remember
Ooh,
mini disc players?
I didn't have one, but I know what it is.
So we have here.
Okay.
It's not in the best condition. So we have
Hmm.
here a blue Sony mini disc player. This is, I guess, the control
So wait,
things so we could pause.
it's not like a typical like Discman. It's like smaller, right? Mini
Yeah,
disc?
yeah.
Okay. Like why
So
don't I remember what this is?
it was like it was a little bit after CD players. The mini disc
Okay.
kind of looked like a floppy disk, and the whole
Okay.
thing was that the music would not it
Skip or
wouldn't
something?
skip exactly.
Okay, yeah, it's coming back to me. I don't know. I
And
would
then you
say
can
skip.
upload it. Okay. It was like between mini like MP3 player and
Hmm.
CD player.
Okay.
So, there
I
you
would
go.
probably pass on it if
You
it
would
was
pass on it
me.
completely?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. It's not in the best condition. So, let's see what
Well,
the
I just don't
people
know like where you would buy the mini discs to put in it, or if it would just be to put on a shelf and be like, oh, it's just cool, you
mm,
know.
there you go. And then the headphones on there, the foam is gone. So, but I guess you
I'm
can
like
always get new
dying because
headphones.
I had those like exact headphones, pretty much.
Really? That's funny.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
with like the weird ovally kind of shape.
Yeah. Um, all right. So the people in the chat are saying flip, flip. Christopher Nutter is saying skip. Mountain State Picker is saying flip, and Paul saying all disc size matters. There you go. So this mini disc player, Tia, recently
Hmm.
sold on eBay for $210.
Wow, that's crazy. Good to know.
There you
I've
go.
never
So if
even
you
seen
see a
one,
mini,
honestly, like in real life. Never.
really,
Yeah.
they let me see. So this is another one. Oh, that's. Let me see here. Let me type in. So you know what a mini disc looks like.
I remember
So like
hit clips when we were kids.
yeah,
Like that's like all I can think of, but
this is what it looks like. It's basically like a little CD inside of a
mhm.
plastic casing.
Oh,
Can you
okay.
see that?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I
hold
can
on.
see it. It does look
Um,
like a floppy disk.
there you
Hmm.
go. So
Funny. So like why does somebody buy one? Like do they have to buy the CDs for it now? Like is
well,
it
you
just to
know that
collect it?
I think just well, I think it could be a little bit of both, and I know that Gen
Hmm.
Z they want everything that's people are, if you
Yeah.
go to Urban Outfitters you can they're selling like tape players in there,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh
like
God.
portable tape players. So it's kind of like
Hmm.
us and vinyl, like
Yeah, yeah.
millennials and vinyl kind of thing.
Hmm.
So maybe it's I don't know, some of that, but it's
Interesting.
interesting to
It's
say the
good to
least.
know,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah. So we were talking a little bit about Juicy Couture earlier.
Yes.
So that's
Right.
ironic that I had this already brought up. And maybe you had this when you were younger. We'll find
All
out here in
right.
a sec. So we have here Tia, Juicy Couture,
Hmm.
T-Mobile Sidekick 2.
Ooh, that just made me so excited. Definitely
So the
flip.
ink. Did you have a sidekick growing up at all? I know you
No,
didn't
I
have the
didn't.
internet, but did your parents have
N-
were you a
I did
razor
not.
phone
I had
sidekick?
a razor. I had a pink
Okay.
razor, but I didn't have a sidekick. But I would definitely grab that if I saw that out at a thrift shop.
And then this is an incredible condition.
Yeah.
I mean, it does have scratches. Clearly, it's been used, but for
Hmm.
them to have the know-how like you did and save
Hmm.
everything like in the box with your
Yeah.
Powerpuff stuff, I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I should have
crazy.
pulled the
The
box out
charger.
for the show. We should have
So
another one, and I'll bring out the box.
there you go, for sure. So Tia, what would you be willing to spend on something like this?
Well, okay, I feel like this could sell for close to $500. That's
Okay.
my guess. So with that being said, ooh, I mean, if
What
I
would you be willing to spend?
maybe $40.
$40,
Yeah,
and hopefully
40.
making 500, if not
I don't know. I
100
feel.
plus.
I mean, I could be way off, but I do know that these are very coveted. So I
Okay.
feel
Okay.
like it depends. If it was gonna go for I mean, maybe I'd spend $50. Depends.
Okay, and we don't even know if this phone even works. I mean, clearly you can't get service on it, so this is just going to
No,
be
but this
something
is
that's going to
something you
sit on
put
your
on a.
shelf.
This is something you put on a shelf, though. Like it's cool.
Okay, all right. So, this sidekick, Juicy Couture sidekick, recently sold on eBay for at auction $660.
Ah, I almost said 700 originally. Ah, see, crazy.
So,
I knew. Yeah, that's wild, but I believe
isn't
it.
that crazy?
I believe it. Yep.
Yeah. S- What's
So cool.
the fascination about, we mentioned Juicy earlier. Just like, what is it?
So what's funny is like, I mean, so the Juicy stores were just like iconic. And if you were a girl in, the early 2000s, like you just remember that feeling you got going into the store. Um, but like they do not have the stores anymore, so it's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
historical. Um,
Oh,
and
okay.
they don't make the clothing that they used to make, so when you find these pieces, like it is actually really hard to come by. And they were known for having their matching like sets, like the track pants with the zip up.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can find, it's very hard to find both pieces, like of the set. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
because most people donated all their stuff back in the day. So I don't know. It's also Paris Hilton made it iconic. You know what I mean? Like when you think
Yeah.
about Paris Hilton and everything Y2K, like Juicy is literally Y2K, like summed
To the
up.
core.
So yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
like
Nice.
I wish I could hold that phone like that. I see the
Yeah.
appeal. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Cool. So they don't make clothes at all anymore. Is that correct, or do they
So
still kind of make
it's
clothes?
kind of like they the brand exists, but it's garbage
It's not like what
quality.
it used to be.
It is not what it used to be. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
so it's
Interesting.
not
All
it's
right.
just not the same.
Got it. Just like a lot of things that are not, we can name probably 100 things that aren't the same
Yeah,
that they were
definitely.
before. So, all right. So, Tia, thank you so much for playing Skip or Flip, and we're getting down to the nitty gritty here, Tia. We're
Mhm.
at the end of the show, and like always, we like to end the show with any goals that you may have as a person, as a reseller. What are some things that you're looking to accomplish in the near future, or maybe in the distant future?
Mhm. Yeah, so I mean, whatnot, maybe that's gonna be like a goal
There you
that
go.
I get into. Honestly, it's funny, like I know I'm so late to the game, but like YouTube is a whole nother avenue that I
Yes.
never really tackled. Just like,
You would kill it.
like
You would kill it
I
on
just
there.
feel like I have so much to say, and I feel like
Yes.
the market is really it is oversaturated, especially in what I do. Like I feel like everyone is reselling, so it's like people feel a little discouraged with how to overcome that and like still find those great pieces. So maybe that's something I could offer people, being able to,
Mm-hmm.
teach them a little bit more in depth about how to still find those cheap, inexpensive gems. You know what I mean? Like in a sea of
Mm-hmm.
overpriced clothing. So yeah. So I don't know.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, I'm open to any new platform really, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I think you would kill it on there, Tia. There's only one Tia. You said saturated, but there's only one you, and I think you would absolutely kill it on there. Like Paul was
Thank
saying
you.
here, if me and Ray can succeed on YouTube, anyone can succeed. So
Thank
absolutely,
you.
positively
Thank
there.
you very
And
much.
especially if anything, Tia, you can just start your YouTube. Like I don't even know if you already have like a YouTube with nothing on it, but you can
I
just
don't
upload all
know
your
nothing.
reels on there and just get
Yeah.
started that way. Why
Yeah.
not? You're already doing them.
Yeah.
Your TikToks
True.
and just and whenever you feel, just turn the camera on and give people
Yeah.
your expertise. I think it would be
Yeah.
great.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah, and especially when you start doing whatnot, it's
Oh
gonna be
boy.
awesome.
We'll
Yeah,
see.
I'm gonna do a video with the fees are a little confusing,
Yeah.
so I'm fixing to
Okay.
do a video on just the fees
I was gonna
because
say, can I
there's
watch
like
like past videos? Like, do they record you? Like,
they,
are your
they
shows somewhere I
can
could watch it?
there is so there I did do there is a video on our YouTube
Hmm.
of the first one. So
Hmm.
it's just like me, like I screen recorded everything that was on my phone, and then I had another camera like pointing at me. So
Okay.
that was like our first show. But if you go to Whatnot, you can turn it off and on. Mine's on, but you can go to like past
Hmm.
shows and you can
Okay.
watch everyone's past show, but it doesn't show you like the people commenting or what the item sold for, so you can't really have like a good understanding.
Okay.
So there's plenty of videos on YouTube where people have just screen recorded their shows and put them on there. So it's good. It's good.
All right.
So
Cool.
I would, if you have any questions, of course, just Paul and I would be happy to answer them. So
Awesome.
we're
All
still
right.
pretty
I
new at
might
them,
take you
but
up on
I
that.
think, yeah, for sure. And the shipping's really great, Tia. You just have to weigh the item and Whatnot.
Oh, okay.
Uh, Whatnot produces a shipping label, and
Okay.
the buyer pays all the shipping. You don't have to worry
Okay.
about paying any of the shipping. So
Cool.
the only bad thing is you can't make, like on eBay, sometimes you can make a little bit of money on the shipping because you get
Yeah.
discounted shipping. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
do that on Whatnot. So,
Yeah.
but
Darn.
yeah. So, all right. So,
Awesome.
Tia, thank
Cool.
you so much. I really do
Thank
appreciate you coming
you.
on. I feel like we've learned a lot. And again, everybody that's listening, go over to Tia, follow her on all of her social media platforms. And anything else for the people, Tia?
No, thanks for listening. I hope you learned something from me and come find me on Instagram.
There you go. I feel like we definitely have to do this again. Once you start your Whatnot and, pick your brain
I
a
feel
little
the
more.
pressure now.
Hey, maybe sometimes we need that fire
I mean,
under
this
us
is
to get
pressure
going
coming
on
on
something.
here. This was new,
Yeah,
so new
there
things
you
are
go.
happening.
There you go. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, Tia. I greatly do appreciate it. And thank you so much for everyone in the chat coming on. Thank you all the people that are listening to us at home. And remember, if you haven't already put a subscribe to the podcast This Week in Reselling, do us a favor, subscribe, leave a 5-star review. And yeah, like always, my name is Ray, and going
Tia.
the right direction here. Tia, and then we will catch you guys on the flip side. See y'all, and God bless.